The Galactic Empire had ruled space for thousands of years. Their ships were large, slow, and powerful. They believed no one could challenge them. Near the edge of their controlled space, they noticed strange movements. Human ships were entering a restricted sector that had once been abandoned. This place held nothing of value to the Empire, but rules were rules. On the bridge of the Empire's lead scout ship, a tall alien named Admiral Therax stood with folded arms. His eyes narrowed as he studied the screen in front of him. Human ships moved slowly across the stars, but something felt wrong. They were too calm, too precise. "Send a warning," he ordered. "Tell them to leave this sector immediately." The message was sent. But the reply that came back made everyone on the bridge freeze. It was not a threat or a formal message, it was just laughter. Human laughter. Admiral Therax's second-in-command, Loran, tilted his head. "Sir, is that some kind of joke?" "It must be a signal error," Therax replied. But deep inside, he felt unsure. Far from the Empire fleet, inside the human ship Endeavor, Captain Laura Bennett leaned back in her chair. Her face showed amusement as the Empire's message played again. "They actually think we should be scared," she said with a smile. Kyle Morgan, the ship's tech officer, looked up from his station. "Their systems are using communication codes that are over 500 years old. I think they still believe we fly with fuel tanks." Laura laughed again. "Let them believe it. It gives us an advantage." The Endeavor was one of Earth's newest ships. It looked sleek, quiet, and harmless. But inside it carried tech that the Empire had never seen. It had adaptive shields, silent engines, and weapons that could take out a battleship in seconds. But for now, Laura had no plans to use them. Dana Wells, the ship's strategist, walked in with a tablet. "Fleet Command wants a report. Do we engage or stay silent?" "We stay calm," Laura said. "They want us to blink first, we won't." While the crew prepared for any surprise moves, the mood stayed light. Kyle played quiet music on the deck. Crew members moved through the ship with ease. No one felt afraid. They had trained for this. Back in Empire space, more ships began to gather. Admiral Therax now had 6 cruisers under his command. He stood on the bridge of the command ship and watched as human vessels slowly entered deeper into the sector. "They don't look like they're armed," said one officer. Therax shook his head. "No one sends unarmed ships into enemy space. They are hiding something. Get the High Fleet ready. If they do not leave soon, we force them." Hours passed. The humans did not change course. They sent no new messages. Only silence. Loran looked worried. "Maybe we should try talking again." Therax frowned. "We don't talk to lesser powers. We give orders." But even he felt the pressure. The humans had not shown fear. That alone made them dangerous. On board the Endeavor, Laura walked into the observation room. Stars filled the wide window. Beyond them, the Empire ships glowed with weapons charged. Dana joined her. "They're watching us," Dana said. "Good," Laura replied. "Let them." Dana gave her a side glance. "We could just leave. Avoid all this." Laura shook her head. "No. Earth sent us here to explore the edge. This sector once belonged to no one. The Empire left it for dead. Now they want it back. We have every right to be here." Dana nodded. "Still, they outnumber us." "They always do," Laura said. "But numbers mean little if you fight with old minds." The crew of the Endeavor began to ready the ship for possible conflict, but there was no fear in their movements. They believed in their captain and in the ship. As night passed and cycles turned, the Empire prepared for a full fleet arrival. The goal was clear: stop the humans before they reached the ruins of the old starport in the sector. The Empire feared what might be found there. Inside their control center, Admiral Therax received a new report. A drone had scanned the human fleet. Its weapons were hidden, but the power signature was unlike anything in their records. Therax paced the room. "What are they hiding? What are they planning?" He ordered a test, a low-level energy beam to push the humans back. Just a signal. Just a warning. On the Endeavor, the crew saw the beam come toward them. It touched their shields and disappeared with a spark. "That's it?" Kyle said. "That was their warning shot?" Laura raised an eyebrow. "Did it even scratch the paint?" Everyone laughed, even Dana chuckled. It was clear now. The Empire had no idea who they were dealing with. "Let's give them a reply," Laura said. She opened a channel. The only thing sent was a recording of the crew laughing. No message, no words, just the sound of honest, human amusement. And across space on the decks of massive alien warships, commanders froze. For the first time, the Empire was unsure. End of Part 1. Commander Verol stood inside the command tower of the Empire's High Fleet. His long coat brushed the metal floor as he moved toward the center screen. He had just received the report from Admiral Therax. Human ships had ignored a direct warning. Even worse, they replied with laughter. He turned to his advisors. What kind of species sends laughter in response to a military threat? No one answered. Verol raised his hand. Prepare the full message. I will speak to them myself. The Galactic Empire was not used to being ignored. It ruled over hundreds of worlds. No one dared defy it. Yet the humans, with their strange language and fearless attitude, had crossed into claimed space like it meant nothing. The communication link was opened. Verol stood tall in front of the camera. "Humans, you have violated the borders of the Galactic Empire," he said. "Turn back at once, or face destruction. You will not receive another warning." He ended the message and waited. On board the human ship Endeavor, the crew listened to the voice of Commander Verol. It was sharp, proud, and full of anger. Captain Laura Bennett looked at Kyle, then Dana. None of them looked concerned. Kyle spoke. "First, he sounds like someone trying to scare children." Laura smiled. "Send a reply." Dana asked, "What should we say?" "Keep it short," Laura said. "Just ask if they always talk like that." The message was sent. A single line. "Do all your leaders talk like this?" Back on the Empire ship, Verol read the message. His face turned red with rage. "They mock us," he shouted. "They think this is a game." He turned to his officers. "Form the attack line. We will show them the true power of the Empire." Soon, 15 Empire warships were flying toward the human fleet. Their engines burned hot, their weapons ready. They expected fear. They expected the humans to flee. But the humans did not run. Laura stood on the bridge and watched the screen as the enemy ships came closer. Dana gave a calm report. "All systems ready. Shields are at full. Weapons are charged but locked." Kyle said we could shut down their main drives with one pulse. They wouldn't even know what hit them. Laura nodded. "Not yet. Let them come closer." The Empire ship stopped just outside firing range. Verol gave another order. "Send a second pulse. Stronger this time. Hit one of their engines. Show them we are not bluffing." A beam of red light shot across space. It struck the rear of the human scout ship nearby. The shield absorbed it without damage. The human crew did not even move. Inside the Empire ship, Verol asked for a scan. "What happened?" The officer replied, "No damage detected. The beam was absorbed. Their shields are stronger than expected." Verol growled. "That is impossible. Our readings must be wrong." But the readings were not wrong. The humans had advanced. While the Empire stayed stuck in old traditions, Earth had moved forward. On the Endeavor, Laura gave her first serious order. "Target their lead cruiser. Fire one ion blast. No casualties. Just shut it down." Kyle pressed a button. A silent wave of energy flew through space. It hit the Empire cruiser without warning. Lights inside the alien ship flickered. Engines stopped. The ship froze in space. Verol stared at the screen. "What was that? What did they do?" "Our systems are down," said one officer. "We're dead in space. No power. No control." A second later, another Empire ship lost power. Then another. Back on the Endeavor, Dana watched the data. 3 ships disabled. Zero harm to crew. Laura said, "Hold fire. No need to push them. Let them think." Inside the Empire fleet, panic spread. Officers sent messages to Verol, asking for new orders. Some suggested retreat. Others begged for more time to study human weapons. Verol stood frozen. All his life he believed in the Empire's strength. But these humans had done in seconds what few enemies ever dared, and they laughed while doing it. He called Admiral Therax. "What do you suggest?" Therax spoke with a heavy voice. "We are not ready to face this kind of enemy. Their technology is beyond ours." Verol turned back to the screen. The human ship stood silent, not moving. No more attacks, just waiting. He gave a slow nod. "Pull back, regroup." On the human ship, the crew saw the Empire ships begin to turn. Kyle said, "Are they leaving?" Laura nodded. "Yes. They came to scare us, but they were the ones surprised." Dana looked at the stars ahead. "What now?" Laura smiled. "We continue our mission. We were never here to fight. We came to explore." Behind them, the once proud ships of the Empire floated in silence, some still frozen, others moving away. For the first time in generations, the Empire had been stopped not with war, but with laughter and quiet power. End of Part 2. After the sudden pullback, the Galactic Empire ships drifted to a safe distance. Inside the command room, Commander Verol stared at a blank screen. His best warships had been disabled without a single shot fired. The humans had shown no fear. No anger, just laughter and strange weapons. He needed answers, and fast. "Bring in the science team," Verol ordered. "I want to know everything about these human ships." His officers moved quickly. A few moments later, a group of alien scientists entered the room. Their leader, Dr. Narix, was a quiet and careful thinker. He had studied many species, but humans were still a mystery. "Doctor," Verol said, "how are these humans able to stop our cruisers without harming them?" Narix adjusted his glasses. "Commander, our scans show their technology is not just advanced, it is different. Their energy weapons use patterns we have never seen. Their engines are quiet and shielded. Their systems learn in real time." Verol frowned. "Are they more powerful than us?" "In many ways, yes," Narix replied. "They are ahead of us by at least 2 centuries. Maybe more." Verol sat down in silence. He had grown up hearing that the Empire was the strongest force in the galaxy. Now he felt that belief break inside him. Fari. From the Empire fleet, the human ship Endeavor continued its mission. Captain Laura Bennett sat in the main chair, reviewing star maps. The crew remained calm. There was no need to celebrate. The job was not finished. "Report," she said. Kyle looked up. "No new signals from the Empire. Their ships are staying back. Scans show they are watching us but not making a move." Dana walked over with a tablet. "We are close to the ruins of the old starport. Should we land and explore?" Laura thought for a moment. "Yes. That's why we're here. Let's see what they didn't want us to find." A small exploration shuttle detached from the Endeavor and flew toward the planet. The surface was rocky, with signs of past civilization buried under sand and dust. The shuttle touched down gently near the remains of a large metal structure. Laura, Kyle, and Dana stepped outside in protective suits. The air was thin but breathable. Around them were broken towers and half-covered machines. It was clear that long ago something powerful had once existed here. "This place looks like it hasn't been touched in thousands of years," Kyle said. "The Empire must have abandoned it after a major event," Dana added. "But why come back now?" Laura walked forward and brushed sand off a large metal door. Symbols covered it, written in a mix of old galactic languages. But one symbol stood out, clearly. It was the Earth symbol for infinity. "This doesn't belong to the Empire," Laura said. "This belonged to us. Or someone like us." They activated the door and stepped inside. Lights flickered to life. The hallway was long and cold, with walls made of metal and stone. The deeper they walked, the more they found signs of advanced systems. In a central chamber, they found a large console. Kyle moved to it and began reading the data. This place was built by an unknown race, but it looks like humans. Their DNA matches ours closely, he said. This could be a lost colony or something older. Dana found a wall screen that showed a map of the galaxy. Several places were marked. Earth was one of them. They were watching our planet long before we were watching the stars, she said. Laura turned to the group. Whatever this place is, it matters. And the Empire doesn't want us to know it exists. As they gathered data, a signal was sent from the planet. The Empire received it. Commander Verrill saw the alert and stood up quickly. They have found something, he said. Ready the fleet again. We cannot let them take control of that site. Admiral Therax called in. Sir, I advise caution. We are not prepared to fight them. Verrill slammed his hand on the console. Then we must find another way. We will not lose to a laughing enemy. Back on the planet, Laura's team returned to the shuttle. They brought the data they had recovered and sent it to Earth. Inside the message was a single line written in the old language of the ruins. It said, "We watched, we waited. Humanity will rise again." On the Endeavor, the crew received the message and went silent. This changes everything, Dana said. Laura nodded. Earth is not just a new player, we might be the oldest. The discovery made one thing clear. The Empire was not afraid of humans because of their strength. It was because of their past. Something buried, something powerful. Laura looked out at the stars. The Empire wants to hide the truth, but we are going to show the galaxy who we really are. End of Part 3. Commander Verrill stared at the star map on the wall of his command ship. His eyes followed the signal that came from the planet. The humans had found something powerful, something the Empire had kept buried for thousands of years. He knew now why the High Council was afraid. The truth about the past could break the Empire's control. He called for a private meeting with his top officers. We must act before the humans leave that system. If they carry that data to Earth, every world will question our history. Admiral Therax appeared on the screen. We tried to scare them. We tried to show force. It failed. Verrill nodded. Then we changed the plan. We used diplomacy. Therax raised an eyebrow. You want to talk to them? We must, but not to make peace. Verrill said. We need to delay them. We keep them busy while our covert team lands on the planet and removes anything useful. Back on the Endeavor, Captain Laura Bennett walked into the meeting room where Dana and Kyle were reviewing the ancient data. The images showed cities floating in the sky, starships far more advanced than any they had seen, and a network of planets connected by strange gates. This is not just a lost colony, Kyle said. This was a full civilization, maybe older than both Earth and the Empire. Dana added, and it had human DNA, almost a perfect match. Laura looked serious. This is why the Empire is watching us. They know this history makes us more than just newcomers. It means we might be heirs to something they tried to erase. Just then, a message came through. The signal was clean and formal. It was from Commander Verrill. To the humans aboard the ship Endeavor, the message said, I request a meeting. We must talk face to face. No weapons, just words. Dana frowned. This smells like a trap, Kyle agreed. But if we refuse, they might send more ships. Laura nodded. Set up the meeting. But not alone. We'll bring a backup shuttle above the site, hidden in orbit. If anything feels wrong, we leave fast. The meeting was arranged on a neutral moon between the planet and the edge of the system. Laura, Dana, and 2 guards arrived in a small shuttle. Verrill stood alone on a clear field, dressed in a formal gray uniform. His face showed no emotion. Captain Bennett, he said with a slight bow, I thank you for coming. Laura stepped out and kept her voice firm. We came to listen, not to agree. Verrill smiled slightly. Fair enough. You are strong, Captain. Stronger than we expected. Laura didn't reply. She waited for him to continue. Verrill said, We know what you found. The ruins on the planet. The data. I understand how it looks. The Empire kept secrets, but not all secrets are evil. Some are meant to protect. Dana stepped forward. You tried to destroy our ship. Is that protection too? Veril ignored the question. You are brave, but you are young. The galaxy is full of danger, ancient powers that even the Empire fears. Sharing what you found could bring war. Laura narrowed her eyes. Or it could bring truth. Veril leaned in closer. If you take this to Earth, others will come. Powers that want what you found. Not all will speak before they shoot. Laura stayed calm. We can handle ourselves. Veril nodded. Then let me help. Share the data with us. We will protect the site together. Laura looked him in the eye. No, we don't trust you. Veril smiled coldly. Then I wish you luck. As Laura and her team returned to their shuttle, a small signal blinked inside Veril's ship. The covert team had already landed on the planet. Their goal was simple. Take all data and destroy the ruins. Back at the ancient site, a hidden Empire transport touched down. Black-suited agents moved fast. They entered the ruins and began copying files, placing charges near key structures. But what they didn't know was that Kyle had left hidden sensors across the area. As soon as the Empire team moved in, the Endeavor received the alert. They lied, Dana said. They used the meeting to distract us. Laura gave the order. Stop them. The Endeavor's orbiting shuttle activated. Drones flew down from the sky and surrounded the ruins. A voice broadcast from above. This site is protected by Earth. Leave now or face action. The Empire agents tried to finish their mission. They triggered one of the charges. The ground shook. A small tower collapsed. On the Endeavor, Kyle slammed his fist on the panel. They're trying to erase everything. Laura said, send down our team. Save what you can. Human explorers arrived within minutes. A fight broke out. No shots were fired, but bodies clashed. The human team moved fast, grabbing data drives and protecting the chamber. The Empire agents retreated to their ship and lifted off, leaving behind dust and broken metal. Laura stood in the ruins an hour later. The chamber was damaged, but the main console still worked. A message blinked on the screen. She tapped it. It said, "If you are reading this, you are our future." Laura whispered, "Then we won't let you be forgotten." End of part 4. The ruins were quiet again. Dust floated in the air and cracks spread across the floor from the small explosion. Captain Laura Bennett walked slowly through the damaged hallway. Her boots made soft sounds on the metal plates. Behind her, Dana and Kyle followed with scanners and tools. Kyle looked around. We stopped them, but they did some damage. Parts of the main database are lost. Dana added, but we saved enough. We still have their maps, records, and messages. Laura stopped in front of the console where she had seen the last message. She looked at the blinking words again. If you are reading this, you are our future. She took a deep breath. We can't let the Empire keep lying to the galaxy. Back on the Endeavor, the crew worked to rebuild a full picture of the lost civilization. They pieced together old video logs, city layouts, and star charts. Every hour the image became clearer. Kyle stood in the command room. According to these records, the ancient humans had a council. They ruled many systems. Peacefully, they shared technology. Then something happened. A great war. Their cities fell. Dana added, the records say the survivors left messages. For us, they hoped one day we would rise again and remember who we were. Laura listened. She looked out the window at the stars. And now we do. But far away, inside the Empire command ship, Commander Veril faced the anger of the High Council. The screen showed 3 alien faces, each one older and colder than the next. You failed, one said. The humans now hold proof of history we erased. They are spreading it to others, another added. Already other species ask questions. Veril lowered his head. I tried to stop them. Their technology is stronger than ours. The third council member leaned forward. Then we change our methods. We silence them before they speak again. Send the full fleet. No more warnings, no more talks. Verrill looked up. What about peace? The first voice spoke again. Peace is for equals. We do not treat humans as equals. We destroy them. Verrill knew better now. He had seen the humans. They were not wild. They were not weak. They had patience, power, and truth. But he could not stop the order. Hours later, over 20 Empire ships entered the system. Their goal was clear: erase the Endeavor and all it had found. Inside the Endeavor, the crew saw the alert. Enemy ships arriving fast. Dana stood at the front of the room. They're not here to talk. Laura stayed calm. Are we ready? Kyle nodded. All systems online. Drones are ready. Our defense grid is stronger than before. Laura gave her command. Hold position. Don't fire unless they do. The Empire fleet moved into formation, their weapons powered up. The lead ship sent one final message. Leave this system or be destroyed. Laura answered with a simple reply. No. The Empire fired first. Beams of energy raced toward the Endeavor. But this time, the human ship had improved defenses. A golden field of energy appeared and absorbed the blasts. Kyle pressed a control. Shields holding. No damage. Laura said. Now we respond. The Endeavor released a wave of smart drones. They moved fast and quiet, weaving through space and disabling Empire weapons one by one. No ships were destroyed, but the enemy was quickly disarmed. Dana watched the screen. They can't stop the drones. Their systems are too old. One by one, the Empire ships shut down. Their lights faded, their engines cooled. The battlefield became silent. Laura opened a channel to the Empire fleet. We came to explore. We came to learn. You tried to stop us with fear. We answered with patience. Now you stand disarmed. Go home. Leave this system. The message ended. A long silence followed. Then slowly, the Empire ships began to turn. Back in the Empire command room, Verrill watched the retreat. He stood alone. One officer walked up. Sir, orders? Verrill looked tired. We lost, not in battle but in truth. Let them go. On the Endeavor, the crew cheered, but Laura raised her hand. We don't celebrate their failure. We stay strong, and we stay smart. Our real mission just began. Later that day, the data from the ruins was sent back to Earth. It spread fast. News centers, schools, and leaders around the world saw the images. They saw ancient humans flying between stars. They saw cities that floated and machines that healed. One message played again and again. A voice from the past saying, we watched, we waited. Humanity will rise again. People listened. They remembered. And they believed. End of VI. Part 5. The story of the Endeavor and the ancient ruins spread fast. On Earth, people gathered to watch the broadcasts. Children listened to the old message from the ruins. Scientists studied the shared data. Leaders from many countries called for peace and unity. The truth had changed everything. On the Endeavor, Captain Laura Bennett stood in the center of the command room. Her crew was calm but focused. New messages arrived every hour. Some came from Earth. Some came from distant planets. A few even came from alien worlds not part of the Empire. Dana walked in with a report. Several neutral planets want to meet us. They believe our data. They are asking for copies. Kyle added, some alien groups are turning away from the Empire. They want to know more about humanity. Laura nodded. Then we share it. All of it. We have nothing to hide. The data was sent to every corner of space. Images of the ancient humans, their cities, their wisdom, their final message. One line became the voice of Earth. We waited. We watched. Humanity will rise again. Inside the Empire, confusion spread. Some officers started to question their orders. Young soldiers asked why the Empire had lied. On distant planets ruled by the Empire, small groups began to speak out. They said the Empire feared truth more than war. Commander Verrill sat alone in his quarters. He watched the human message again. He remembered the meeting with Laura, her calm words, her courage. He felt something he had never felt before. Respect. An officer entered. "Sir, another council meeting is called. They want to respond to the human broadcast." Verrill stood up slowly. No, this time they should listen. In the heart of the Empire, the High Council gathered in silence. The oldest leader, known only as the Speaker, looked around the room. "The humans have made us look weak," one said. "They have told stories that break our history," said another. The Speaker raised his hand. "No. They told stories we tried to bury. But they are true. We must face that." Some council members grew angry. Others stayed quiet. The Speaker turned to Verrill, who now stood at the center. "You met the human captain. You saw her ship. What do you say now?" Verrill answered with a steady voice. "We tried fear. It failed. We tried lies. They broke. Now we must try truth." The room was quiet. "What are you suggesting?" the Speaker asked. "Let them speak. Let them be heard. And if we listen, maybe we learn," Verrill said. The Speaker looked at him long and hard, then nodded once. Back on the Endeavor, Laura received a message from the Empire. It was short and clear. "We wish to meet again. Not to stop you. To listen." Dana read it twice. "Do you believe them?" Laura replied, "I believe they are tired of fear." The meeting was arranged at the same moon where they had first met. This time, the human ship was joined by two neutral vessels. One from a planet called Terran, another from a colony called Solon. Both were curious and open. Commander Verrill arrived with no guards. He walked to the middle of the landing field and waited. Laura stepped out of the shuttle, followed by Dana and Kyle. She walked with calm steps and stood face to face with Verrill. "You came alone," she said. "So did you," Verrill replied. He paused, then said, "You were right. We tried to keep control with fear. But fear does not last." Laura looked around at the ships nearby. "The truth spreads." Verrill nodded. "And now we face a new time." Dana stepped forward. "What do you want, Commander?" Verrill took a deep breath. "I want peace. I want our people to learn what you know. I want to open the doors we closed." Laura asked, "Will your leaders agree?" "Some will, some won't. But change begins somewhere," Verrill said. The meeting ended with no deal, no paper, no signatures. But something greater had happened. A first step, a quiet understanding. The Endeavor returned to orbit. Laura watched the stars and spoke to her crew. This mission started with a simple goal: explore, learn. But now we are something more. We are not just travelers. We are the voice of the past and the hope of the future. Kyle said, "And now the galaxy knows it." From Earth to the stars, the name of the Endeavor became known, not for war, not for power, but for truth, for laughter in the face of fear, for showing that even the strongest empire can be changed by one human voice. The message from the ruins played one more time across the galaxy. We waited, we watched. Humanity will rise again. And now, it had. End of part 6.